listening to That's Pretty Dark,
the podcast where we talk about all the entertainment that scared us as children
and still haunts us as adults. So grab your flashlight and join us as we take a frightfully nostalgic look over our shoulders.
And under our beds.
And in our closets.
And together, we'll realize, whoa, that's pretty dark.
Stoop Kid's afraid to leave a stoop. Stoop Kid's
afraid to leave a stoop.
Stoop Kid's afraid to leave a stoop. Wait. Stoop Kid's gonna leave a stoop.
Stoop Kid's gonna leave a stoop. Stoop Kid's. I really hope you darklings are chanting with us. There is nothing. He's gonna do it this time. He's gonna do it.
Watch him.
There is nothing that stuck in my mind after watching General Nickelodeon as a child as hard as that did.
Mm-hmm.
It was so repetitive. It happened so many times in this, like, such a short, tiny little episode.
I know. So short, so swift.
And I can just hear it echoing in my
tops.
brain and heart infinitely.
You know, like when you began having those conversations when you're growing up, you're like, oh, yeah, remember that show? Remember that show we watched as kids? Remember that one? Yeah, wow, Cow and Chicken, crazy.
Stampy.
All somebody had to do was, Stoop Kid's afraid to leave a stoop. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave a stoop.
And
then it would just kick off the whole thing.
Yeah, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. If you're
Everyone
millennial, it's like
knows
there are certain SpongeBob quotes that you can talk back and forth with millennials. This is like in that echelon.
Number one. I need it. I need it. Like I need another Hey Arnold episode in my life.
Anyway,
that's
this
one.
isn't a SpongeBob episode. This is, believe it or not, another episode from the beautiful city of Hillwood. Here on That's Pretty Dark, where my name is Kaylin.
My name is Christian, as always.
We're back in action. We're back in Hillwood, and I'm always so excited to return to these streets with Arnold. It feels good. It feels right. I saw you bobbing and weaving like Stevie Wonder to your jazzy tunes in your ears. I wish I could listen to music when I do this. There's just no way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
got
capable.
That Hillwood jazzy vibes going.
I do everything else in my life with music in my ears. If I'm in the grocery store, I have AirPods. You know what I mean? If I'm doing a chore, there is something playing in my ears. But for whatever reason, when we do this, I can't have music playing.
Oh, so what you're saying is recording the podcast with me isn't a chore. It's something.
Id I say that?
That you enjoy doing from the bottom of your heart. That's so sweet.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy this podcast.
Sweet.
We've been so lucky lately. We were talking earlier about our time with Jerry and Sierra of Ladies and Tangents recently. Yeah. We have another amazing crossover that's coming up really soon. Parapods is treating us very well.
They've been very
right
kind.
out of the gate. They've been very kind to us, and we're very grateful for all the folks there that are making this whole podcasting process easier. So as much as I enjoyed it before with all you darklings and with you, Christian, I think I enjoy it just a little bit more now. Thanks to Parapods.
Just a little bit sweeter.
And thanks to Arnold. But we'll get into Stoop Kid, because I know that's what you're all here for, and that's what I'm here for too, frankly.
I mean, that's why I'm here for sure.
Stoop Kid was, believe it or not, just the third episode of the series. Looking back, I did not remember that. I did not remember that at all, that it was so early. Like, I knew it was like season
early.
1. It is the third episode of the series, which just goes to show how Craig Bartlett and his whole team were so locked in. They knew the landscape. They knew who everyone was going to be. And I mean, third episode. The third episode to be one of the most highly quoted episodes, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
It premiered on October 30th, 1996, and was written by Steve Vixton, who we discussed in Ghost Bride, Wheeze and Ed, and most recently, Arnold's Halloween. And he was the voice of Oscar, if you remember.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was directed by longtime Arnold crew members Kelly James and Julie Murphy Hashiguchi. So they had all come together for the show. They had all started off together, and this is kind of that core team that started the show in the third episode.
You know what will be so fun to do in this town? Urban legends. You feel? Anybody? Anybody?
Like the guys in Elf.
I like that.
Finger guns. Yeah.
I like urban legends.
This is the origin story of every Hey Arnold episode that we've talked about on this show thus far. You know what I mean? Like, this is where it started. This is the very first time that they did this trope. They let Gerald have this moment, and they knew they had something.
Yeah, Gerald's the keeper of the tale. I mean, that's wild because they stuck to the formula. Like, it worked that same way every time. They didn't necessarily improve on it.
They didn't have to.
Yeah, because they didn't have to.
Perfection?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's something.
The bongos, everything. But we'll get to it. The episode begins in a classic neighborhood game of football in the street. And the kids are like gathered in the street and they are periodically, moving out of the way for cars, which also took me back. I remember that being just, and I'm imagining like kids in a city in that urban environment. It's probably very visceral for anybody who grew up that way because where else do you play?
It had to be so hard. I mean, we grew up in the suburbs,
right?
But in my neighborhood, we played on our cul-de-sac. It was all like uphill from the main road up to our house. And we would like, batter would be at the bottom of the hill and you'd be pitching downhill and then you'd hit all the way up into our cul-de-sac.
And you'd have to run uphill.
You'd have to run uphill, past the curbs, all the asphalt and everything. That's where I broke my arm when I was a kid too, running away, playing tag. Fell head first into the street, busted up my chin and broke my arm. So, our parents, they were right. Don't run in the street.
Yeah.
But every time a car came down the main road, we were just like, car. And we had to stand in the grass and wait.
Wait
just a bunch
for wherever
of
they were going. Who knows
of suckers,
where.
So yeah,
and that's exactly what these guys are doing. The cars are coming. It also reminded me of the Mary Kate and Ashley movie, It Takes Two, when they're playing baseball in the street. The very opening scene of that movie, they're playing baseball in the street, and Mary Kate's character is about to hit a home run, and it's a grand slam actually, and she's coming into home base. Right.
She was so athletic.
She's coming into home base, and the car that's coming to take her to this appointment, like for adoption, drives over home plate so that she can't tag home plate, and they tag her out. So they lose because of this happening. And that was all I could see whenever I saw this scene.
Rookie move, man.
It's always hard to put this feeling into words, like playing with your neighborhood friends, playing a game of whatever it happens to be, football, baseball, tag. But we've spent a lot of time lately trying to describe that feeling. And I just don't think there are ever going to be words good enough to take us back.
No, that's why they have like adult kickball tournaments and stuff like that. Because they're just trying to capture the nostalgia, that old feeling.
Of how that felt. Yeah. Man,
you don't have to be good. You just have to have fun. That's it.
I'm certainly not good. But it would be fun to like revisit that feeling. Because I like the celebration of just like, that camaraderie. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to find that as a grown up. Harold is taunting Arnold, having everyone move in because he supposedly can't kick. But Arnold doubles down in spite, which is also one of our primary motivators, and punts the ball past their block, where it comes to rest on the front steps of a building that's like a block over.
I made the mental note about the spite. I was like, what can spite not do,
Everything. So much of my life, so much of what I'm able to accomplish is despite something. Not always to spite something, sometimes. No. But mostly despite something.
Of all the Stoops in the world, it had to land on his. Nice going, Arnold.
Nice going, jerk.
Maybe if we just asked for the football.
Do you think this was inspired by The Sandlot?
Maybe. Perhaps.
Kind of the same premise, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Could be. Craig Bartlett saw Sandlot and was like, hey.
Or
it's a classic
that was just such
feeling.
such a like common nostalgic feeling for somebody who might have grown up in like the 60s. Maybe that was because The Sandlot, it was 60s nostalgia, I think, 50s, 60s, something like that. So like, maybe that was just sort of a bygone thing, like you lose your ball, it's gone. Your ball goes in the wrong place,
like
it's gone.
Your stomach kind of drops, you know what I mean? Like I remember playing next door with our neighbor Paige, and we'd be like playing basketball or something, and if the ball went over the fence, because there was like one side we knew the neighbors, and on the other side we didn't.
You don't.
So it's like there's that like your stomach drops because you can't ask for it back, you can't get it back, or worse yet, it's kind of sort of abandoned, and like you'd get in trouble if you tried to go over there, so you're never gonna get it back. Or similarly, like if a frisbee ends up on somebody's roof or something, where it's just like it's gone
forever.
Like
goodbye, frisbee.
Like the game's over.
Farewell.
You know what I mean? Like that disappointment. It's like it's such like a crushing moment in childhood. We're really in our feels today.
Yeah, and it like goes into like Boo-Radley's backyard.
Exactly. Like, exactly.
You can't go over there.
I can put myself back in that feeling in my stomach of just like, well, shit. Like there's nothing we can do about that.
No. As a kid, you were like, well, fiddlesticks.
Right. Yeah, I never would have said
Shoot.
And it's also the kind of thing where
Daggum.
like your parents may or may not be angry if you've lost like the expensive basketball in my neighbor's
because you just got it
case,
for Christmas.
Exactly.
And now it's like, I went over the fence. And then your dad has to go talk to the neighbor and he's pissed.
Awkwardly knock on the door. And then,
because they made a point not to speak to each other this entire time we've all lived next door to each other. And now they have to.
For whatever, there's this
because he
weird...
paid $17.65 for that basketball at his Academy Sports. And now he's like, gosh, darn kids and their Christmas gifts.
Yep. Gotta go make the walk of shame and knock on the door.
Little did we know, it was always the friendliest, nicest neighbors that always spoke to the young children that we had to be most careful of, not the ones who we didn't know very well.
Yikes. I also kind of wonder if this problem is solved for kids today, like a Ring camera or something. Like if they see, like a neighbor sees that happen or whatever. We were just talking before this, somebody just banged on my door and I was looking at my Ring camera from our, like my office. Like, I wonder if people can just, oh, hey, I see, like, talk on your Ring camera. You're at work and kid has something fly in your yard and be like, you can go get it. It's okay.
You're good. That reminds me of the time we used to hop fences and run through backyards all the time when we were playing games. Totally reckless. We never should have done that. We got yelled at quite a bit. But there was one time we were in our neighbor's backyard and we left their gate open. And the next morning they like let their dog out to use the bathroom and it like got out. And ran off. They were so sweet about it. They they had to come tell our parents, like, we love the kids. We don't mind if they, play. We know they run through our backyards.
Oh my God.
We don't care, but we need them to close the gate when they do it. And we were like,
oh my God.
Absolutely, we're going to come to your house every night and make sure it's closed.
Yeah.
Even if we're not playing games.
It
was just, we felt so guilty. We felt so
I would
bad.
feel terrible.
Their dogs were fine. They got them back.
Good. Okay. That's really what I needed to know.
Now I can sleep. But, got to talk about it because that's kind of what this episode's all about. It's like those nostalgic feelings. I mean, we always kind of do this with Hey Arnold anyway.
Yeah. Hey Arnold does this to us in a way that few other things that we cover can.
Sometimes Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Because
but mostly
of the way,
Hey Arnold.
Yeah, because of the way that it's like perpetual. You know what I mean? Like Hillwood is still there in my mind. It's not a movie that like started and ended somewhere. It's like Hillwood was there for my whole childhood and there is still like a distant, like imagined Hillwood for me. Like it didn't go away the way that so much of this does. I don't know. I mean, that's a testament to Craig Bartlett. That's a testament to Jim Lang, the music. Like that's a testament to how immersive this show was for me. And I've told people recently, like doing different episodes like this, the ones that always stick with me the most emotionally are always the Hey Arnold episodes.
I know.
Like every time without fail. And I think it's because of that. I think that it's because these feelings don't end until we do, God.
It's a timeless show.
It's so good. The kids are frustrated because Stoop Kid never lets anybody near his stoop, and the conversation devolves into escalating hearsay. Iggy heard that he punched a guy just for touching his stoop, and Rhonda heard he killed a kid just for looking at it.
Killed a kid.
That's pretty dark.
God, that escalated quickly.
Again, this is the first official taste of that Hey Arnold urban legend.
3 episodes in, they're already mentioning the death of children. Bold. He's a bold kid.
A bold kid. Sid takes the stage, explaining that Stoop Kid is a legend passed down from grade to grade over 6 years, which...
Whoa.
6 years? That's longer than middle school.
That's something.
That's almost as long as you've been in school overall as a whole. 6 years is a lifetime to these kids, which I thought was a cute way to say it.
Yeah.
He says, our own Gerald is the keeper of the tale. Go ahead, Gerald. Tell it.
Go ahead.
The crowd of kids ooze in the background, bongo, ancient chant, music sweeping through, kicks in.
In the beginning, like so many of us, Stoop Kid was just a baby left mysteriously on the stoop of that very building.
Then there's a crack of lightning and we cut to a flashback where a woman places a crying picnic basket on the stoop.
It was Moses' basket.
Yeah, a Moses basket.
Yeah.
Some say he was abandoned there. Others say he was dropped there from the sky by aliens. And still others say he grew from a seed lodged between the cracks of the sidewalk.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty good. A really good legend. And it's the first time Gerald is using this phrasing. Like some say this, others say this. and still others say something else. And it's like, I think he uses that every time.
Yeah.
And that, again, also sticks so much. The rule of three. I mean, that's, honestly, ChatGPT is really starting to get on my nerves because I'm seeing all these posts and all this stuff that's written like that in the rule of three, or the not just this, but this. And it's kind of this same storytelling, like, structure, I guess, sometimes. And I'm like, this is how I've been writing for my whole life.
Yep.
And
same.
Now that I write like this, people are like, oh, I've never used ChatGPT, but that's how ChatGPT writes. So I don't know.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to use an M- all day.
Me too.
long.
I'm going to use an M-. The sparkle
All
emoji is
the
my
live
favorite
long
emoji.
day.
It's always been my favorite emoji. These things have been true about me since long before ChatGPT was a twinkle in the eye of the internet, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Sorry, that's a rant for another day. But we've been working on a lot of different notes for like different episodes we've been working on, and I've just been noticing that across social media and everything, and I find myself writing that way. I've always done this. I haven't been influenced by ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's because it's copying you.
I mean, that's the core of all of it, yeah. It learned from us. Anyway, as Gerald is speaking, we see each of these scenarios play out. We see a tractor beam enveloping the basket. We see an earthquake-like rumble sending up a vine that bursts through the wicker of the basket.
It's so biblical, the whole thing.
It is biblical. It's downright biblical.
Oh, goddamn.
He says, whatever the reason, lo and behold, tiny Stoop Kid was left to raise himself on the stoop of which he was fated to call his home. As he grew, he came to know and love his stoop as his only family, Gerald says, as we watch a young Stoop Kid pluck an apple from a nearby tree. But
biblical.
there was also a dark side. Biblical.
Heaven, hell, the Garden of Eden.
Another crack of lightning, and we see the shadowed silhouette of the boy, now more animal-like than human, devouring the apple.
Dude.
Embittered by the love and normal boyhood that were stolen from him, Stoop Kid became meaner and meaner by the day. I guess he saw the love and boyhood modeled on TV, because it sure wasn't happening around him. Like, no. Did anybody else live in this building? Nobody else came or went in the building. There's a potential reason for that. But like, what was Stoop Kid seeing his whole life?
I mean, he was observing other humans. He was watching other, young boys being loved by their parents. That's the thing. He's an observer of human nature. He watches.
Mm-hmm. And in that way, I do relate to him. I do. Gerald continues. He began to lash out at the passers-by, taking out upon them the anger of a young, loveless child. Now he's swinging around on the porch as the chanting and percussive music underscoring Gerald grows louder, and he turns to look at the camera with crazed red eyes, claws, and fang-like teeth. He became so protective of his stoop that whoever so much as looked at it would face the wrath of the Stoop Kid, his accusatory barbs, and even physical violence. The end.
The end.
We all have a tendency to create these monsters in our mind, I feel like, either to vilify what lives in the shadows of our imagination and therefore might be unsafe, like Maycomb did to Boo-Radley, as you said earlier, or to create distance, give reason to underlying pathology, and reassure ourselves that someone we perceive to be deranged or maladapted is more them than us. We also just talked about this at length with Sierra and Jerry in our March of Villainous Madness episode, because that derangement is so frightening. It's so scary, not just because of what that entity might do to you, but because none of us are ever too far away from being that entity. Yeah, I mean, because it could happen to anybody at any time. Anybody at any time. Really. That's right. Stoop Kid, though, the visuals scared me a lot as a kid. Me too. I was very afraid of Stoop Kid as a child. Me too. And because he's depicted as this animalistic beast, right? Right. In these moments, especially, like, literal claws and fangs. Yeah, the red eyes. Oh, yeah. So and I have a reason that might be demonic. The case. It's probably come up on the show before, but I remember being so spooked as a kid by like weird Dateline stories or like late night weird Discovery Channel stuff. There would be specials on like feral children, And some of these visuals in Stoop Kid took me right back to those weird documentaries that I guess I had seen. That may be where it's going to come from. Yeah. There were several cases of this happening from the 70s through the 90s of children being discovered having been abandoned or isolated for years, even decades in some cases. It's scary. It's terrifying because, again, it could happen to anyone. This is somebody who has not had the appropriate developmental support, right? You haven't been nurtured.
There's a few very famous accounts of those. Some debunked, some not.
Right? Yeah, I looked up several, and I almost brought them to the episode. But I feel like that's not really what Stoop Kid's about so much. But I know for a fact that when I was a kid, I was connecting those dots in my head.
Yeah, because
that's so scary.
The point of the episode is that he isn't that. So if he was, sure, I could see us breaking down those examples, but.
Yeah, but this is the stereotype. This is the legend. This is the perception.
Legend.
This is what everyone has decided that Stoop Kid is without Stoop Kid's involvement or consent, really.
6 years in the making.
6 whole years.
6 whole years.
And the common denominator in most of these like feral children cases, if I'm quoting, and thankfully one brush with reality that Hillwood does spare us, which it doesn't do often, is the severe abuse and the developmental disorders or some combination of both of those things that leave these victims without much speech even. A lot of times kids that have been abandoned to this degree don't have, again, that developmental environment that allows you to develop things like speech and any kind of like anything that requires socialization, which I mean, most everything does at a certain point. A lot of kids, a lot of these victims, they're like you said, there were cases, some were debunked, but there have certainly been many cases of neglect and abuse, many that haven't been publicized, where children have been like your foundation is stolen from you. Yeah. You can't get that back. Like language development really only, like it can happen later, and a lot of kids do gain skills later, but it takes a lot more effort because when your neuroplasticity and everything, when
it's
so
easier
young,
when you're a kid.
You're meant to be raised in an environment that's going to support you and teach you those skills that you have to have as a human person to exist in society, you know?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, with Stoop Kid, like the worst effect is that he's a poor reader. Not that he can't read.
Not even that he can't read.
Just that he's kind of a poor reader, kind of a slow reader. And he's agoraphobic. And that's basically it.
Yeah. He's a little maladapted because he's agoraphobic and he's taking that out on other people.
Of course. But there's more to it. Yes. But
you're right. Like in comparison, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I wondered too. I was like, who taught you how to read? Where'd that come from?
For living outside of an abandoned building.
Yeah, I don't know. Socialization is just so crucial for development in every aspect. And it feels like in the case of Stoop Kid, he has at least picked up enough language and social context to be dangerous, if nothing else.
Yep. In those canned beans or whatever he eats, he's a growing boy.
The kids applaud Gerald and disperse. But to all this, Arnold responds as practically as ever.
So what's the point?
What's the point?
So the
point is, you ain't getting your football back, so forget about it, man.
I love that. But also, Arnold doesn't know the legend because we don't know the legend.
Right.
But I do kind of hate that he doesn't know the legend.
Yeah. It feels like Arnold would be in on this.
Because he's not the new
6 years
kid.
In the making, like you said. And he's not a new kid. But at this point, we're all new to Arnold. Arnold is a new kid to us. It's 3 episodes in. So we don't even necessarily know that Arnold would be in the know.
Yeah, we're experiencing Hillwood through his eyes. So, of course, he doesn't know the legend. But it's just, looking back, it's kind of like,
Yeah, Arnold would have known that.
He would have known.
He would have had all kinds of, like,
Feelings.
Arnold probably had tried to reach out to Stoop Kid before this. You know what I mean?
I have a feeling he's got some mixed, emotions about Stoop Kid.
For sure.
A curiosity that he now gets to realize.
Explore.
Arnold
tries to approach, assessing the teen in his lawn chair. A hammock hangs behind him with a stuffed rabbit, and a tube TV is balanced on the ledge of the stairs. Where'd he get that? If he can't leave the stoop, if he doesn't leave the stoop, I'm just wondering, are people just dropping stuff off to him?
They must be. I mean, I have a feeling it's the whole, if it lands on his stoop, he keeps it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so he's just collected things.
It's now
over
his
time.
Football, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but like, who's leaving a TV?
That's what I want.
Cable access.
Right. It's hooked up, and like there are like cables that go into a nearby window, but it's like, who set that up?
Again, an abandoned building. Like what? How?
I'm afraid it's the kind of thing where we're probably not supposed to think this hard.
Yeah, you can't. Fridge logic. You can't.
Here we are.
Think too hard about
to
it.
think this hard.
Don't think too hard about it until you do a podcast about the episode, and then pick apart every single second of every moment of the episode.
We're sorry, Craig. We cannot wait to speak with you.
No, I mean,
you're probably not hearing this right now, but we do very look forward to you and all of your insights, because I know you never bargained on us sitting here 30 years later doing this.
Hi. How's it going? Guess that my football landed on your stoop, huh?
Go ahead, pick it up.
And Arnold picks up on the fact that he probably shouldn't do that. And he's like, that's okay. I'll just leave it here for now. Stoop Kid is voiced by Danny Cooksey, by the way, a.k.a. Budnick, one of the main characters from Salute Your Shorts.
Are you serious? I just looked up Salute Your Shorts because I was going to comment and say he looks like...
sounds...
he looks like Danny Cooksey.
Yeah, that's his voice.
Well, Budnick, yeah, because like the mullet and everything, yeah.
Yep.
But I mean... That's crazy. I did not know that.
Really good idea, really smart on the part of the network and whatever, because he does have a passing resemblance to Danny Cooksey.
Yeah.
So I think that's really smart.
Like literally, look, like not even kidding.
There it is.
There, right
You were
here.
just looking it up.
It's just.
Danny Cooksey was also in 48 episodes of Different Strokes. That's twice as many episodes as exist of Salute Your Shorts. So it's funny to me that like our generation does know him from Salute Your Shorts, but like Different Strokes was a very long running show that I also watched as a kid in reruns. But you know, he was all over Different Strokes. He also appeared in a ton of big projects from the era, including Terminator 2, Growing Pains, Tiny Toon Adventures, Ren and Stimpy, The Wild Thornberrys, Recess, Rocket Power, As Told by Ginger, and so many more. Like all the Nickelodeon staples.
Everything.
He just either made a cameo or had like a little featuring role for a while. He had a major role in Pepper Ann also. He was Dave the Barbarian. Like he voiced Dave the Barbarian, which was a Disney Channel cartoon or ABC cartoon, I want to say. And he even made an appearance in season 3 of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. I remember seeing him there.
And he returned to reprise the role of Stoop Kid another time in the Hey Arnold Jungle movie.
Whoa.
Danny Cooksey was a Nickelodeon legend
Staple,
for sure.
Yeah.
Is, I suppose.
Go-to guy.
Arnold retreats, thinking this is going to be harder than he thought. And next we see him, he's exhausted. He's staking out in the trash can across the street.
In a
drinking
trash
coffee.
can. Because he could just be in his friend's house.
He could, but no. He's got to
through
stake
the
out.
window.
And
Yeah,
I respect that. Again, as a kid who had all of these games, we had all of our rules and our you were playing the part. You know what I mean? You're gonna commit to the bit essentially.
Oh yeah, no, I remember
and
hiding
this
in
to
the
me
bushes.
felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arnold
Like
is gonna do
watching
a
the street.
stakeout. He's gonna be in the trash can. He's not gonna be inside. Like this is serious business. He's cut a hole in this trash can through which he watches Stoop Kid harass passersby, including a very young woman that he calls Grandma.
I know, she's pretty smoky.
She's in like
too.
a crop top and like headphones and got a dog. She's doing her thing, and he calls her Grandma. And I thought that was funny.
I mean, she was looking good.
We now are certainly older than that character was intended to be.
Here I am, about to be 35 in a week.
Yeah, it's almost your 35th birthday.
7 days.
Hey, Park!
Oh, sorry, Arnold. I forgot you were in there. Are you sure you don't want to come inside?
No thanks, Park. I gotta keep watching till he leaves his stoop.
Okay, but you know Stoop Kid never leaves his stoop.
And he doesn't have to. In some of these shots, we see a notice next to the door that makes this whole question more interesting, like wondering why are people not coming and going, what's going on?
Yeah.
It says on like the plaque next to the door, these premises are quarantined.
That was my big question watching this episode again.
Yeah.
I was like, what the how does he just live on this stoop and scare everybody else away?
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense. Until I saw the plaque and I realized all the like windows are boarded up and
Right. It's abandoned. The building is essentially.
The building doesn't look too
because at one point it was quarantined. And I'm sure as a kid I wrote it off, assuming that was like another way to say condemned, just like off limits, whatever. Like that's can't go in there. Like that's kind of the end of the story for me. Like all I need to know. And that made it easy to imagine that the building sat vacant, as many buildings did in our hometown.
Yeah.
And while vacancy is still probably the case, it's haunting in a different way to say that the premises were previously quarantined.
Right. Like why?
Right.
What happened?
These notices were commonplace across cities like New York for decades, posted by public health officials to control contagious diseases throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Although alarming, paper signs were legally required to be posted on the exterior of homes, warning the public of contagious diseases inside, particularly during outbreaks of stuff like scarlet fever, smallpox, influenza, and Baltozone, diphtheria. You can actually find some of this ephemera for sale online now. Like there are paper, notices that have been posted that people sell online as like memorabilia from the time. Many of those reference scarlet fever because that was pretty explosive in like urban areas and cities.
What era? What like decade?
Late 19th, early 20th century. So like late 1800s time frame. And then even into the 20th century, like
that's wild.
Teens and 20s. Mm-hmm.
In a few years, it's going to be like measles.
Yeah, for sure. That is a future that we are going to see, unfortunately.
Yep.
Pretty likely. And it's funny, Craig Bartlett actually posted about Stoop Kid very early in the pandemic, like in 2020. He posted just like a carousel with facts and just talking about like his pride in that episode and how important of an episode that it was. Mm-hmm. And he posted a screen cap of that quarantined, plaque.
Whoa,
and he said something like, this is strangely more relevant than ever 25 years later, Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to me too that like public health, I don't know, I could get on a whole lot of different soapboxes regarding public health and how important it is for people to comply with guidelines that directly impact the health of everyone around them. Because again, we live in a society. We're all depending on each other to protect the most vulnerable of us from things like outbreaks of measles, for example. Mm-hmm. I feel like the pandemic should have been a huge lesson in how and why that is important. And instead, we just collectively decided to forget that ever existed or did exist at all. Forget the millions of people that died, during 2020 and 2021, and even still are dying daily from COVID-19.
There's still enough people who can decide the political future of this country that, those same people they're COVID deniers. They just don't even think it happened.
And I get frustrated. I did at the time, especially like yelled about it nonstop. I get so frustrated when people try to make it a political issue. First of all, life is political. If you don't do politics, they're going to do you, full stop. Right. But also beyond just that, this isn't even a party political issue.
It's a
humanist.
This is a public
health safety issue. As somebody with chronic illnesses, as somebody that probably had chronic illnesses exacerbated by COVID, so many more people than even died have been disabled or debilitated in some way by a pandemic that we all just like lived through, are currently still living through. And as a kid who was fascinated by stuff like this, from things like Balto, seeing the diphtheria outbreaks, seeing how those things were handled, even in this case, the late 19th and early 20th centuries were posting notice. You were required legally to put a notice outside your home if you had one of these contagious diseases within your home, so that anybody coming or going or coming in would be aware of the risk they were taking. And can you imagine if we still had like a modicum of that like respect for each other, where we're like, you know what, this is a really shitty thing to have, this is a terrible way to feel. I would hope that no one has to feel this way. I'm going to do my part to prevent that. And it doesn't seem like rocket science to me,
Yeah,
it never did. And again, I could yell about this for forever, but it's just very important that we recognize that the world goes beyond our own nose or face mask or whatever. Like our decisions are impacting people around us every day. And in the case of something like a disease outbreak, it is tangible the way that that's happening. You know what I mean? We all carry our own weather, in some degree, like our climate of who we are and how we like move through the world and how we're impacting people, how we're treating people and talking to people. And this is like a huge major extension of that. I don't know. Hey, y'all gave me the microphone. I'm going to use it.
Use it. Cook. Chef.
I'm snapping.
Yeah. Am I being relevant?
I think you were just relevant for a second. It was kind of spooky.
Not
but
too
I think
bad
you did
for
it.
a chopped dunk. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Not
you did
too
it.
shabby.
God.
But no, seriously, those are two skills that we have totally lost as the human race, as humans. We no longer like see the other, like we're losing empathy.
Yeah.
And we no longer have any like concept of the future. We have no respect or love for the future because we're so selfish because in other people, that's not us. And in the future, I'm not there. So it's like
I'm not there.
We're so unable to even
isolated
grasp.
in our own ego.
Those concepts. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that we just, anything that doesn't directly impact or benefit us, we just don't care about.
It's hard to look at. And like, is that because of overexposure? You know, we have so much information hitting us all the time. So it's just, we've been numbed to like what that reality is.
There's a lot of psychology there that, I mean, in sociology that I can't explain.
Yeah.
But I do think instant gratification has a lot to do with it.
Because it's hard to see beyond what we are. And public health often asks you to do that. You know, it asks you to exercise that. And again, this was all like one big example of how poorly most people are going to do at that.
Yeah. So it is like planting a tree, you know, like
legacy.
Shifting our views.
What is a legacy? It's
shifting our views on
in a
like
garden you never get to see.
Energy and like how we obtain and use energy. Like, because, you know, we don't think about generations down the line. We just want to think about tomorrow and how much money can I make.
I mean, the Hexus machine, that's doing it to us. I think that some people have been frustrated lately, or I mean, I've seen a couple comments where people are like, you know, why do you talk about politics? Why do you, like, everything any of us ever do ties into politics somehow. And we would be, like, it would be impossible for us to have a show like this where we're talking about this history and nostalgia and to not reference it, because the whole point of what we're doing is talking about how this media affected society. So we have to talk about the ways that society is acting. You know, we have to talk about the way the society is changing, etc. And hopefully, if you're a Darkling who supports and understands that, we are grateful that you do. I really did get on a soapbox there, but I was going to say that the notices often stated that the entrance or exit was forbidden to any persons other than a doctor. And they also said that removing the sign was a legal violation. So it's like, that is there. And it wasn't like, oh, the politics of posting that. Oh no, like, what is that going to do to your reputation? Nothing like that. That's illegal. Like, it's illegal not to put it up, and it's illegal to take it down if public health officials say it needs to be there. You know what I mean? Yeah. We listen to public health officials. With so much less technology and so much less like communication and so much less access than we have now, and it just makes me feel like we're wasting, you know, what we have, what we've built.
Oh yeah, we're just blowing potential left and right. All across the board.
All over the place.
Do you think the doctors were still wearing those like plague masks?
Plague masks? Big, like, in the late 1800s?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But there was one really cool doctor out there who was. There was one guy who was like, I have a plague mask.
The retro plague mask.
Yeah.
At the time.
Like.
Wore it for novelty.
Original nerd. He's had his mask on his shelf. Just like waiting for an opportunity to wear it in public. Finally, my time has come.
But back to Hillwood. If this building did indeed fall into disrepair after an outbreak of some sort that left the tenants unable to maintain the building, which is chilling enough, it's even more off-putting to consider that if the Stoop Kid was abandoned as a baby theory is true,
he was just left
perhaps
there.
It was at one point an orphanage or some other such place that someone might abandon a baby.
Oh wow. Huh.
That's pretty dark.
That is pretty dark. Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that was intentional, but just that's where my mind went.
Because, okay. The legend, obviously, pretty dark, pretty scary. He looks scary. The story is scary. Where'd he come from? Who knows? No one knows. In the reality of Hillwood, in real life, this is a child who was abandoned here or found his way here somehow. And has lived alone for his entire life up to this point. And he's a teenager. Been there a long time. So you're right.
He may not even remember how he got there. All he knows is Stoop.
All he knows is his
Stoop. Is home.
That is his family. That's his home. That's crazy to think about.
I agree. Arnold continues watching as Stoop Kid has dinner from a can, rinses off with a hose, and gets in or struggles to get in some light reading. The little engine that could.
Working beans.
Wow, what a great book. Even Stoop Kid needs some art and inspiration in his life. I think maybe especially Stoop Kid.
What do you think he was watching on TV?
What was airing in 96?
Yeah, I don't even think he was watching Hey Arnold.
Full House.
Yeah.
Dreaming of a family of his own.
Or, Different Strokes.
Perhaps Different Strokes.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
We just hear from the tube TV in West Philadelphia. So y'all know me by now, and you know that I had to check. As soon as Little Engine That Could was mentioned, I was like, I need some history. I need some information. I need to know. Like, Stoop Kid is reading it, 1996, and at that time, it was ubiquitous enough for all of us children to know, what it was. So I wondered where it came from. It surprised me to learn that The Little Engine That Could is considered an American folk tale because its exact origin is really tough to trace.
Whoa.
So it's more than just like a kid's book, and it was. We'll get there. It was, but like, it's considered a folktale because it is so ubiquitous.
I'm over here thinking it's Thomas the Train Engine.
The Little Engine
It's
That
not.
Could.
It's the Little Engine That Could. It's a different thing.
Right. Completely different thing.
Consider my mind blown.
The story started circulating in the early 20th century with its signature phrases such as "I think I can," first occurring in print in a 1902 article in a Swedish journal. So it had circulated, it had been here and there, and then there was a print version that included some of that narrative.
Okay.
Then an early published version of the story of The Little Engine That Could, the title, appeared in the New York Tribune on April 8th, 1906 as part of a sermon by the Reverend Charles S. Wing, and a brief version later in 1906 was published under the title Thinking One Can in Wellspring for Young People, which was a Sunday school publication.
Why has it got to be religious?
It became religious. Doesn't appear that it started that way, but then it cycled through. And again, magazine put it out as part of a sermon. Then another like version of it came out later the same year in a Sunday school like publication. Sunday school newsletter, magazine, something like that.
A pamphlet, a brochure.
Then another version was published under the name The Pony Engine in the Kindergarten Review in 1910. That was written by Mary C. Jacobs, and she's often mentioned in like the chain of credit. Like, who did this come from? She usually gets a mention because this version, I guess, is closer to the one that we end up knowing. Because a different version with the same title appeared in a magazine for children in 1916 under the name of Mabel C. Bragg, who was a teacher, and she introduced new events to the story, such as the train's like cargo, but she herself said that she took no credit for originating the story. Like, she added on to it, but she was like, this wasn't mine. I found it and I added to it.
Very Alvin Schwartz of her.
So the first version with the actual title, The Little Engine That Could, there's a lot to follow, I know. No. Several different versions.
I'm here for this.
Early 1900s. This one appeared in 1920 in volume 1 of My Book House, which was a set of books that were like sold door to door. Like, everybody would get, this set because this salesman was going door to door, and it was just like one of those, like, I don't know if we had anything exactly like that in the 90s, but I feel like I'm familiar with the concept because everybody would just end up having it, It's probably like a mail order, like call in.
We had Jehovah's Witness.
Not selling books. I mean, we definitely had door-to-door salesmen, but I don't think quite in this vein. Yeah, I'm sure. People still come selling like vacuums or carpet cleaning or something.
I mean, Girl Scout cookies, maybe.
We talked all about door-to-door salesmen.
The fine young gentleman who just knocked on your door before we started recording and like wouldn't leave.
Yeah, just stood in front of my house.
Who knows what they
watching on the camera? Like,
we're like, hey, we have a podcast to record. Can you go away?
Woof. Anyway, this book set ended up in a ton of American homes and was pretty well known. But the best known incarnation of The Little Engine That Could, the one that I think that this episode of Hey Arnold is referencing, was published in 1930 by Watty Piper, which was the pen name of Arnold Monk, who was the owner of the publishing firm Platt and Monk. So it's like an author, Arnold Monk. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Arnold.
Hey, Arnold. Yeah. That was a weird journey to go on because I expected to look it up and for them to be like, oh, this was published in 1930, The Little Engine That Could. Yeah, and that is what I found. But
no, it goes deeper than that.
It goes deeper than that. And
so, I mean, it's a folklore motif, essentially. It's a tall tale. It's a folklore
motif. It came from nowhere and it goes to no one, specifically. And there's a chain of credit of people that kind of brought it into our awareness, basically.
But the earliest was that Swedish written down version.
Yes. And that had the phrase like, I think I can.
I think I can.
That's what we all remember anyway. That has been over 125 years.
That's crazy.
Lots of kids thinking they can over that time.
And what we do every time we hit record on a podcast.
Truly. Arnold dozes and dreams of a giant glowing football and a giant stoop until Gerald comes to check on him. He says he only fell asleep for an hour, but Gerald says, I told you, Stoop Kid never leaves his stoop. Though now we have heard this phrase, Stoop Kid never leaves his stoop, probably half a dozen times in the episode. This repetition is instead a watershed moment for Arnold. He says, what if I just sneak up, grab the football when he's not looking, and run?
Yeah, because
And
no one's
Gerald's
ever thought about this before.
Well, Gerald's like, are you crazy? He'll just chase you down and pulverize you. And Arnold's like, how can he if he never leaves his stoop? And this, to me, as a kid, it felt like he was solving a riddle.
He's smart.
You know? He's thinking.
That's a smart little football head he's got.
I love when it happens, like, something that you thought was a dead end just gets flipped on its head completely. The whole perspective shifts. And you're like, never mind. I know the answer now.
You're a bold kid.
Bold and crazy.
Bold and crazy.
Arnold does just what he says. He sneaks up and makes the snatch. And of course, Stoop Kid charges to the edge of the stairs, railing against him. Get back here, you little weasel. Nobody touches my stoop. You little runt, come back here and face me like a man. And of course, he's all bark and no bite. And this realization sends the boys into fits of laughter. You know what, Gerald? I think he's afraid to leave his stoop. So it's more than just he won't leave his stoop.
He's afraid to.
He's afraid to.
And there's nothing worse than being scared.
Bark, bark,
Barely.
bark. A chicken.
Chicken.
It's an innocent enough realization for Arnold after having spent his whole night, you know, wanting to get his football back, being afraid of this kid himself. You know, there's this moment of like, he's the one that's afraid, not me.
It begins with them all being scared of Stoop Kid.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like turning the light on and banishing the shadow monster that was 10 feet tall before you turn the light on.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's just as afraid of you as you are of it. But in this case, Stoop Kid is maybe more afraid than they are.
It's like, forget the shadow monster. It's the spider who creeping across the floor. Terrified of it. But then you know what? It's actually it's more scary.
More scared of you than you are of it.
More scared of you than...
Always.
Yeah.
That's what my parents used to say when I would run from like a bee or something. You know, like in the yard. They'd be like, it's more afraid of you.
I don't think bees are scared of anything.
Depends on the bee, I think.
Yeah.
Carpenter bees, maybe not.
No.
What's going on?
Park comes outside to hear about the commotion, and soon Sid and Iggy and the gang also gather, and they're all snickering along. Harold insists that he must be afraid to leave his stoop, and with this, the taunter becomes the taunted. But aren't we all afraid to leave our stoop sometimes?
The tauntee. That's what I was saying earlier. Is I don't know if I relate to Stoop Kid more or like Pigeon Man more, because there's so much there to both of them.
And I mean, that can be metaphorical too. You can be afraid to leave a metaphorical stoop just as much as a literal.
That's true. That's true.
As the crowd multiplies, his resolve weakens. Kids come and go just out of his clutches, and he's unable to follow through on any of his threats because they're right. They begin to shout the news repeatedly in unison. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. And they do this until a paperboy delivers the same headline there on the stoop. And I, like most of you, probably have had this echoing in my head again for the last 30 years. And then the anguished cries of Stoop Kid pierce through the night as Arnold walks home with a bag of groceries. He feels bad and stops by trying to make peace. Maybe if you tried to leave the stoop, people wouldn't make fun of you. Stoop Kid is sure that he can't do it, even with Arnold's help, and says it'd just be a waste of time. And Arnold's like, what do you have to lose? It's now montage time, because Arnold commences demonstrating like the descent of the stairs. He tries blindfolding Stoop Kid, who still can't complete the final step, and even bribes him with a hot fudge sundae. But no dice.
There's a whole world out there for you to see. But you're never going to see it if you don't leave the stoop.
Yeah, but what's so great about the world anyway?
And it is, of course, tempting to agree with him here from where we're sitting.
Yeah.
Luckily, Arnold has checked out some library books to help make his case. He shows him the Spanish Steps in Rome. He shows him an Aztec pyramid. And Stoop Kid is awed, but Arnold says it's just one of the great stoops out there. And if he wants to see him, all he has to do is take that one big step off his stoop.
Onto other steps of bigger steps of other bigger stoops.
Stoops and
bigger steps
to bigger stoops. I think that this lesson, like, start with what you know and then broaden your horizons. It's
one small stoop for man, one giant
stoop for Stoop Kid.
It's all crackly, you know?
One step always leads to the next step, and you don't have to take them all at once. And I'm saying that just as much to myself as I am to anybody out there, because I, myself, want to take every step all at one time. or feel like I have to sometimes. And that's never the case.
Mm-hmm. It's like that meme, you know, with like the steps or the ladders or something. There's like one staircase, like a bunch of tiny steps, and there's like one massive staircase with like giant steps. You can't even reach the next one. And it's like so like, it's like so deep. You know what I mean? You gotta take small steps. Take small steps to get to the next level. You can't just take big giant steps because you can't reach them. You're too short.
My friend Andy, who listens to the podcast, I'm pretty sure, they're a very talented astrologer and herbalist, once told me in that same vein that anytime you're traveling in a new direction, you can be traveling north while you're still technically in the south. Each step happens only one at a time, and you're going to be able to deal with the next thing when you have taken the next step. You know?
Yes.
I don't know. It seemed really profound to me at the time because I don't think like that. I think like,
yes, I
need to take this big, like I will no longer be here. I'll be there.
It does seem like something
it doesn't work that way. Nothing works that way.
Yeah, it does seem like something that you would need to hear for sure. So I'm glad that you heard it. Yes.
God.
Yes, I'm glad that you heard that.
I did. And I hope, dear Darklings, you're hearing it with me because I think it's important. It's important.
It's very true.
Arnold, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna leave the stoop.
Stoop Kid is similarly invigorated, and he shouts that he's finally gonna do it. And the news once again spreads impossibly quickly around Hillwood, from Harvey the mailman to Mr. Green the butcher, who closes his shop to watch. The legend dies, Harvey.
Big event, man. It
becomes another big city, small town spectacle that we see sometimes in Hillwood, with all the local color leaving their posts to witness history in the making. There's old-fashioned news cameras, well-wishers holding signs of support, someone selling merchandise. There are like bobbleheads.
I think I can.
There's
see the posters.
Copies of The Little Engine That Could, like just copies of the book. There's t-shirts. There are signs that say, "Be stoopless." Which was so funny to me.
That's wild.
And every time I tried to type that note into my phone, I auto-corrected to topless. So I guess do you.
I mean, you know.
Do what you gotta do. Stoop Kid is understandably reticent. I didn't know there was going to be so many people here. He's like freaked out as anyone
why
would be.
Why would there be?
Because why would there be that many people?
Same thing with Iggy and his pink bunny pajamas.
Yeah, why did the whole town come out for this?
Why would the news be there with cameras?
And I think that at least is a convention that's meant to evoke the feeling of being a kid.
Of course.
Everybody's looking at you all the time.
Brilliant.
Even though no one's looking at you, everybody is all the time. Like you can't get away from that feeling, especially at this like stage of development, you know, like late middle school. I guess they're in technically 4th grade, I think, but like
4th grade. Yeah. There's
just this sense that the whole world is watching you mess up. The whole world is, you know, like right there. Everybody's going to see, everybody's going to know. And that you grow into the world and realize that it isn't revolving around you. It's not all about you, but there are some developmental stages where that feels more true than others. And I think this is a really good representation of that because it literally happens to Stoop Kid and Iggy. Arnold tells him not to worry about it, just to concentrate. And the ambient chanting has now gone from Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop to Stoop Kid's gonna leave his stoop.
He's gonna do it.
Stoop Kid's gonna leave his stoop.
I believe in him.
Arnold brandishes a poster of The Little Engine That Could, and he's, you know, consoling himself, saying, "I think I can. I think I can." In a triumphant moment, his feet touch down. "Goodbye, Stoop. Hello, world," read waving signs. Citizens young and old celebrate the occasion, all of them having turned a new leaf in the last 24 hours from all the stuff they were saying about him before.
Yeah, because now he can leave and beat the shit out of him.
The next morning, the paperboy delivers a whole new headline. Stoop Kid steps off. He and Arnold sit on the bottom step. They're excited. And Arnold's like, "I guess there's no holding you back anymore. I guess I want to go see the world." And Stoop Kid scoffs, saying, "Nah, he's going to stick around. Because he's Stoop Kid. It's who he is."
You know, Arnold, you taught me a great thing. Now I can harass people from my stoop and from off my stoop.
Oh, Stoop Kid, you know, you can take the kid off the stoop, but you can't take the stoop off the kid.
You can't take the stoop off the kid. I watched this episode a while back. Like when I was preparing for it, I had watched it previously and like written notes down. And when I returned to these notes to get this ready for today, I thought that Arnold's next line was just something that I was thinking, but no, it's the literal next line. Arnold says, "Gee, that wasn't really the point."
Yeah.
Harold, who seems to be returning from a bus trip and has inconveniently for him missed the memo, then walks by. He's jeering about babies and diapers, and he's taunting Stoop Kid because he thinks it's hilarious knowing that he can get away with it.
Dude, that grape popsicle burned into my mind. The visuals of that.
Yeah, Harold's just licking a popsicle. He's carrying his suitcase. Not a care in the world. Just wants to be a little shithead to Stoop Kid. And it doesn't go like he thinks it will. Because Arnold's smug smirk that he's now used twice is now utilized by his protege, his stoop-stepping protege, who leaps down to the sidewalk, body shaming all the way.
Come here, fat boy! I'm gonna roll you downtown!
Without a word, and in that perfect slice of life, Seinfeld nothing happened way, Arnold dusts his hands and disappears down the sidewalk with Jim Lang Jazz taking us to the credits. And ain't that just how life goes sometimes?
Yeah.
You can give someone all the tools and resources and support in the world, but some people are committed to doubling down on their small-minded worldview.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't even know if sometimes is the qualifier. I think it's like most of the time.
Often. It's
a lot of the time.
I mean, a lot of things, messaging that I feel like I've gotten throughout my life is like, people don't change. Like, you can't change him. You can't fix him.
I mean, people can change,
like,
but it has to be their choice to
exactly.
change.
And see, that's such a big thing for me. I know that people can change because I myself have changed so much. I'm you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that it's possible because I have that like intrinsic viewpoint, and I know that it is like a possibility. I seen it with my own eyes.
I done it.
And the thing is,
I done did it.
People that say people don't change, I find often don't have that same benefit. Like they can't necessarily look within themselves to see how much they've changed. They think people don't change because they don't change.
Right.
And
right.
In the grand scheme,
it's all projection.
They are people. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just this one, a mirror looking at itself. Like if you think people don't change and you don't change, then that's true because you're people. And so for me, I do believe people can change, but again, it always has to be their idea. It always has to come from somewhere within them, like inside them. And no amount of outside support or force is going to make it happen without that internal acceptance, I guess.
And as like cheesy and silly as it is in a kid's cartoon, it's all about the positive reinforcement, like the positive feedback loop. You have to tell yourself that I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Which is why that story has persisted and still exists to this day. It's still memorable. Years. I don't even know if kids know that story today.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still like a common saying.
Darklings or your kids reading The Little Engine That Could.
If not, you should.
Yeah.
And if there isn't a recent enough publication, then by golly, I'm going to write it. It needs to happen.
You could be the next in that chain.
To make it relevant again.
The train, you know? You could be the next car in the train. This episode to me is so impressive because it is like, it's not diluting, it's not condensing the message, it's just conveying it in a childlike way. It's conveying it in a way that a kid is going to understand and relate to without even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's quintessentially Arnold to me because it blends familiar like childhood psychology. Even us watching it, we're like, I know that feeling. It blends together the neighborhood myths and like we all know those feelings too. And it's a classic moral storytelling structure. Like you get these steps towards something and this payoff at the end that isn't really a payoff, but that's also the joke of it. That's the point of it. There is so much nostalgia seeping from stories like this because it taps into so many different patterns and fears and societal constructs that we've been experiencing and repeating as a species for centuries on end. The underlying idea here is that fear can and often does trap us far more than reality does. And I think we could all stand to gain something from that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He was afraid. And
he was just afraid.
There wasn't as much as he thought to be afraid of. And I say that as someone with borderline agoraphobia myself.
Yeah, like I said, there were bigger, better stoops out there in the world. So why stick with the small one? Just because it's what you know. You got to step outside your comfort zone.
For me, it's like there has to at least be a better reason than that. Like there may be reasons that I stay within a certain comfort zone or certain like there may be reasons for it. There may be valid reasons for it, but it can't be only that. Don't do it this way just because that's the way it's always been. If that's the reason that you're referencing, it's probably not a good enough reason.
Yeah.
In my opinion and in my life.
Yeah, but if you find your safe space and you're happy there, stay. Right. By all means.
Yeah, we're not telling anybody to leave a stoop that
your life to the fullest.
They would be unsafe leaving, you know?
Mm-hmm. So we're just going to backtrack everything we've said.
Oh my God. Duality. There's always two sides to every story. Mm-hmm. Because that's Stoop Kid. It was a short one, so we feel the need to just let's do it all from another perspective.
Short and sweet.
Quick. We appreciate y'all being here with us today. If you want more from us, again, this is kind of a short episode. Our previous episode was a lot longer. We're going to normalize. We're going to equalize. 2026 has been a weird year for both of us so far.
3 times as long as this one.
We're doing the best we can. And if you want to keep up with that minute to minute, you can follow us on social media. That's Pretty Dark Podcast on Instagram, at That's Pretty Dark on TikTok. Don't use TikTok very much, but it's always there for us. At least most of the time. You can find our video episodes on YouTube. I keep wanting to point this out to people. I'm trying to post it more on social media, but we have started incorporating video episodes. So if you ever cared to see our faces, you can do that now on our YouTube channel. Our episodes have video. Hi.
I need a shave.
Nice to see you.
And if you want to reach out to us, as many people have recently, it's been amazing. You can contact us at that'sprettyddarkpodcast@gmail.com. We've gotten a lot of emails recently that have been really heartfelt and great, and we just really appreciate it. So much. Thank you. Again, we read all of them.
That could be you right now, listening out there. Tell us what's in your head, what's on your heart. And last but not least, if you take pity on our poor, overworked souls, you can support us via Patreon, patreon.com/TPD podcast. You can find behind the scenes stuff. There's some more video content. We try to put stuff up there as frequently as we can, which doesn't always end up being as frequently as we want. But we appreciate you so much, because everybody that's contributing to that Patreon is helping us do what we're doing with our main feed content. You helped us reach, the ears of Parapods and Em and Christine over at And That's Why We Drink. It's thanks to people supporting us, and so many of you have supported us for so long, and so wholeheartedly, and we don't thank you enough. Truly, thank you for being here. We apologize for our brief hiatus this spring, but again, we are coming back at you with some really exciting collaborations, some really fun blockbuster movie 2-parters this summer. We've got a lot of stuff planned, and we cannot wait for you to hear it.
It's gonna be good.
Can't wait to hear it ourselves, because most of it isn't written yet.
I can't wait to do it.
Can't wait to see what these 2 crazy kids come up with.
These 2 nostalgic children.
And on that note, that's all I got. You got anything else?
That's all I've got.
Thanks for letting it be a short one. We're here for you, regardless of the length of the episode. Wherever you're at, whatever stoop life has landed you on.
Ooh, that's good.
You're never really alone.
You're never really alone.
So take that leap.
And we'll see you guys next time.
I think I can.
Ooh, I think I can.
I think I can end this episode. I think I can.
I think I can. I think we have.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. That's Pretty Dark Podcast is produced by Kaylin Andrews and me, Christian Baxter Mott.
With music by Jonathan Simmons and cover design by Halftone Horror.
You can support our show by supporting our sponsors, or go to patreon.com/TPD podcast to unlock all the Pretty Dark bonus content we have in store.
Please share your experiences and let us know what shows, films, or villains still haunt you from childhood on our socials, or at that'sprettydarkpodcast@gmail.com.
For all other information, visit our website, that'sprettydark.com.
Remember, you're never really alone.
So, until next time, sweet dreams, everyone.